All right. Welcome, everyone. We did this 2 years ago, a year and 3 quarters ago, something like that.
I
Um,
believe so.
my friends from Porsche Wilmington in North Carolina, not Wilmington, Delaware, which
Yes.
I thought that's where I was going when we first met each other, but Wilmington, North Carolina. Introduce yourselves, guys, to the audience. We're going to go at this again in GT3 Touring.
Oh, yeah. So we were able to get you an allocation. I'm Tom Walsh, certified brand ambassador here at Porsche Wilmington.
And Patrick Williard, also certified brand ambassador here at Porsche Wilmington.
And so what I want to do here today is the guys are going to take me through my build. We're going to actually start from scratch, so we may make some adjustments. My build is not locked this time, right? So we can still
Correct.
can still make changes. We're going to be talking about we're doing paint to sample, and which is super exciting for me. And we've sort of planned this out several years ago. And I said, look, I want to get a GT3 Touring. Luckily, they and you guys can confirm this, they've separated the allocation of GT3 Touring and GT3 this year.
Correct. No longer just an option. It is a standalone allocation.
So in the past, you could have been number one on the GT3 Touring, but it didn't matter because you're just in the GT3 list, which is generally pretty robust. And so we kind of figured that out. We got lucky in that they segregated the allocation, so I was able to get one. And then we're going to go do some, we'll try to do it a little differently, but we're going to do the whole delivery experience. And I'm going to fly up, and I have my own trailer now, so we'll trailer it down ourselves. And we're going to take it, do the whole, you guys don't touch my freaking car thing. And we'll do that like normal. And it was such an amazing experience the first time, you guys, when we did my GT4. And it was like, that was the first GT car I had ever been able to order, track, watch, come take delivery of. And so you guys made that experience amazing. Yeah. And we're going to do it again. I got my red camera. We'll have it here shortly. So we'll be shooting some really high quality 8K footage when we go take delivery of this thing. It's going to be super cool. So let me pull up, let me share my screen here. We're going to be searching 911 figure. It'll ask us our option. And you'll notice here at the bottom, it gives you GT3 Touring as a completely different model. Even though it's technically a Touring package, it's a completely different model. So we're going to choose that. So my dream has always been, well, not always, but in the last, say, 5 or 6 years, would be to have ever since they released the 911R, would be to have a 911R that's softer and more subdued and more stealth, and then have a GT3 RS. And then we kind of snuck in, Michelle didn't like this, but snuck in the GT4 into that dream as well. So
I had to sneak that one in. Yep.
Yeah. So the GT4 there. And what I'm hoping we keep selling a bunch of stuff and I'm making lots of money and I can keep all three. That's the goal.
Good idea.
That's the goal. And then build a garage to fit all this stuff. So here's the configurator, which is I've spent hundreds of hours of my life on. And so we're going to kind of fumble through. And every time, even though I've spent so much time, every time I work with a brand ambassador, you guys always teach me stuff. And so we'll kind of go through and we kind of work through the car and design it here.
We've got some information along with a website if people are interested in paint to sample. We do have a website people can use as well to look at some of those colors. So Patrick will kind of go over that a little bit later on, or whenever you want to. We can kind of talk a little bit more about some of the things that you can see as far as colors are available with Porsche.
So tell me, what is paint to sample? How hard is it to get? How does the procedure change? I've never done this before. I have to pay the money, of course. What do you think that's going to do to the allocation timing? Give us a little bit of insight in what someone would experience with paint to sample.
They usually tell us about a 6-week delay on that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to lock the order in probably 2 months in advance than you typically would. So you put the paint to sample on there, you tell them what color you want, put all the options that you want in the car. Then when you save the configuration, it actually goes into like a special status. And then Porsche in Atlanta, they go and look each month's allocations and say, okay, there's 25 orders that have requested paint to sample.
Mhm.
And like your car, the allocation month is June, but the order has to be in by February the 13th.
Got it.
And so a few months in advance, and then they'll just take a spreadsheet. So let's say they've got 25 cars. They submit all those orders to Germany. Germany goes through and makes sure that they're selecting colors that are actually on the list.
Mhm.
And then they approve each order. And at that point, it goes into a block status before production where you can't make any changes. So that's why they say the February 13th for your build would be the last day to make any kind of changes before they submit for paint to sample on the actual car.
Now, how about where does CXX get involved in this kind of thing? So paint to sample is not part of CXX program, or it is, or it's
that's like a separate thing altogether. So CXX is where you click on that box and then you kind of email Porsche and go, this is what I'm thinking. I want, instead of the standard black leather, I want to do saddle brown with blue stitching or what have you, whatever kind of customization that you're thinking of.
Those really wild builds we see on the internet go through a lot of the CXX stuff, and
Right.
Porsche might say, we're not interested in doing it. If you ask nicely, they'll say, okay, fine, here's the price.
Right.
And it's usually pretty hefty.
Yeah.
So does it go hand in hand with if let's say that you weren't paint to sample, like can anybody opt for CXX, or is that a different allocation? Like, do I have to have a special CXX? Because we got an allocation and then we had to get approval for paint to sample. Do you then can any car get CXX, or it just has to be timed correctly?
If they're currently offering it. And that would be something where like 2 months ago, you would have put a request in for special color leather, special stitching,
Mhm.
and then they give you the price and you say, yes, I want it. And they get you to sign some paperwork. Then it goes on the build, and then paint to sample would be something separate. So it's not a special allocation. You can just do it. As long as they're offering a particular model at that time,
Mhm.
it's able to be done.
So yeah, Tom, you'd asked me if I plan on doing any CXX options, and I said I don't think so. So we're past that window for CXX. So CXX would add another couple of month window to it.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah, potentially.
If it was something that let's say you were looking on Instagram and you saw some 992 GT3 that came in with a special interior, if that's something that you saw that caught your eye, we could always ask before the February 13th deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And say, hey, I saw this car, it looks like it was done already. Sometimes if they've already done it and they did it recently, it's a case-by-case basis, but they might say, oh, okay, we can do that. Here's how much it costs. So it's kind of an item-by-item basis. It just depends on what you're looking to do and how custom it is. If it's something that they've got to start from scratch on, then yeah, it can take a few months for them to come up with a plan for it.
So while we're on the topic of paint to sample, what's the site that people would go to look at?
Just Google media Porsche paint to sample. Just Google that, and it's probably, let me see your screen.
Paint to sample 911.
That's it.
That's the
Got
site.
it. Got
So
it.
if you just go to the search bar and type in your color that you want, right there. Yep.
So we're doing Brewster green.
And then click 911 right below it.
Man, I didn't know this site existed. I learned something new.
Yep. They did just come out with this about 2 months ago.
Yeah. Although the accuracy of that is.
It looks a little dark to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that dark.
But I'm sure.
But the idea is they give the public a place where they can go and look at what are the different.
That's cool. Oh, so make sure you go check this out here. Just on mediaporsche.com and then /paint to sample. And then you
hope we didn't throw a wrench in that for you there, Matt.
Yeah, no. This is good. This is fun.
The other thing I'll just throw out there, and not that you're doing it on this build, of course, it's called color to sample. So that's like paint to sample. They're calling it paint to sample plus.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone came up with their own color, like they just dreamed up some crazy color, you could submit that. They have to test it to make sure it's not going to fade or anything. Mm-hmm. And then if they approve it, then they charge you, I think it's around $25,000 for a bespoke color.
Yeah. So these were the two colors I was considering was Golf, GOLF blue, not GULF blue, and then Brewster green. I've always wanted a green car, and so and it's a perfect kind of subdued car to do it too. So I'm excited to chase it. But this part of this is cool. You could.
I love that color.
We already got some blue cars, so green car.
Exactly. I need something different. People will lose their minds. So
hey, in the car business, we got a thing where you're having a bad month, having a bad week.
Yeah.
You find yourself a green car, you walk around it backwards 3 times, and it'll cure all your disease. So
yeah, there's that Paint the Simple Plus. You see it there.
So this is if you're doing a paint to sample, but from your own swatch, if you will, or your own code that's not on the list. So yeah, there you go. I don't think this was in here earlier. That's a new add-on to the configurator.
Yeah.
So we're doing just paint to sample. Just measly 12.8, no big deal. All right, so we add that to it. And I'm lucky that the configurator is pretty darn. This is probably like oak green or something like that, but it's pretty darn close.
I think if you click back on paint to sample,
and
I think if you go to
where is it?
Yeah, let me just
the little eye. When you click paint to sample, the little eye next to the paintbrush up there. No, the one above that one.
Right here.
The eye.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Porsche Racing Green Metallic.
Got it. So my Brewster is going to have a little more dark, a little more black in the tint, I guess, or in the the metallic. But it gives us an idea of what we're working with, which is lucky for me,
Right.
And in past, like the configurator will have some sort of red version of the car or something like that. That's a cool little tip. You can go click the information tab at the top there, and it'll tell you what color this is.
Yeah, any option. Sometimes it's very hard to tell what each option is. If you click that eye when you're building these cars, it's going to give you some sort of definition of what it is. Sometimes it's left open to interpretation, but we do our best with it.
Yeah, I love this is, I think, by far the best configurator on the planet.
I think so too.
Any car.
Now, they did change software providers for the configurator. Some items, I don't know if it'll do it on this build. It doesn't change it on the car for some reason.
Got it.
So
then wheels, and I'm always the black wheel guy, but I think this is a different car. This is my gentleman's car, and so I'm really torn. I'm interested in your opinion. Do we do gunmetal or satin dark silver, or do we do the traditional silver, which is so counter to what I normally do? But I've been leaning toward silver. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of green cars with gold wheels these days. I kind of like that trend a little bit, but I don't know. Green and silver kind of always goes really well together.
I just delivered a gentian blue GT3 a couple weeks ago with the neodyme wheels. I tell you what, they're pretty awesome. They're not too gold either. It's like how would you describe it?
It's not quite gold. It's more, yeah. I don't know exactly how I would describe it, but I think the build that you're looking at, it is classic to go that silver. Green and silver, especially in a touring.
Yeah, I think
they don't have satin platinum for these, which would be my first choice almost on any car. I love that satin platinum color on those wheels. But black would be cool, but I think you said it already. You're looking for that kind of classy build.
Yeah, silver.
Yeah, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the silver wheel, do a little different out of my normal choice, my normal character. It does, the green is very, very dark. And so when if you can go that sort of dark black look with carbon fiber and stuff, but I think I like this.
It's clean.
This clean look, right? And so then we have interior, and this is one of the things that was confusing to me, is that you do have this. I think it's down here lower under packages. So if I just start with choosing, so you could choose the exclusive two-tone option. one of my dreams has always been to have a green, like British Racing green or Brewster green, and then have like a saddle brown interior. So just based on your experience, if I chose that CXX, am I adding 60K? I mean, are we?
Probably not. Maybe.
Well, we had a 19. Was it a 19 or 18?
The Touring 18.
We had a Touring come through here. It was an 18, and it was blue sapphire metallic, and it does have some CXX special wish.
It was
So
about 25 grand.
yeah, I think it was 25 grand for saddle,
Everything.
and it had houndstooth centers.
I'm not balling that hard, so I think I think I'm going to skip it. And even this, so this $15,000 option, which I think does this come up a little bit lower in the I guess you do select it here. So we have our standard interior, which is like the whatever that doesn't have the leather dash and stuff like that. And then we choose the leather interior, and then it does have fabric, inserts are in the middle of the seat, right?
Right.
And so I can choose to do stitched or not stitched. So if I choose this black leather, it makes the leather dash. It has some leather sections on the door, has, transitions to, leather seats with that little fabric centerpiece here, leather steering wheel. And then I can choose the option for another, another $1,800 or whatever.
Right.
And this would then add the stitching, right? Silver stitching to the seats. And it's going to take a second to load, but I think it does it to the dash and stuff like that too. So I'm going to do 4-way seats. I'm a spry, young 42-year-old getting back in shape. I don't have any back problems, knock on wood. The 18-way seats just confuses me. Just too many options.
Yeah, it is too many options. I have always said to people, if you aren't sure of the seat, go sport 4-way. I find them the most comfortable. They're pretty easy to set up, and they're ultimate memory seats. Yeah.
And there's $0. We're in the interest, or we're in the saving money here.
Yeah, we got the free stuff going here.
And 180 grand, right? So full buckets, I have that in my RS. It's really painful to not choose, because this is a $13,000 set of seats that you buy for $5,900. It's almost painful to not make that choice, but I'm gonna do the right thing. This is my Touring. This is my daily driver. It won't be, but this is the softer GT3, the stealth GT3.
This is the car you can. I know you don't drive very far, but this is the car that if you decided you wanted to drive a long distance, you're gonna be comfortable.
Yep.
The only thing to mention real quick is there's no lumbar. Just want to throw that out there just so you'll know.
Yeah. So if you need some tweaks in, the 18 ways to the way to go, if you really have some, back issues or comfort issues or anything like that. And so going back up here and choosing a two-tone option, one of the things I struggle with is the color choices. And so you do have to do 18 ways if you choose this option. It's and the way it kind of works itself out, it works out to a $12,000 addition, because it's going to remove the stitching here. And so if you choose that, it gives you these, it does add a bunch of leather to the interior, right? So it adds all of these various compartments or additional leather areas. And then you can select from this color palette, which is in here somewhere. It tells me
I think when you hit accept, maybe it'll give you the color palette.
There we go. Mm-hmm. So this is my oh, wait a minute. Cognac is a new color in here.
Here we go.
This wasn't in there before. It was only Mojave beige was our only option. Obviously, we don't want any blues. We already have black. I don't want a light interior. Let's just see what this looks like. I'm going to mess up my whole plan here. Oh, shoot.
Oh, man. Yep. Hey, Matt, in the
Yes.
bottom of that screen on the right-hand corner, you've got in the middle of the picture, and the picture there of the
Yep.
car.
Yep.
Click that one real quick. It blacks out, or it gets rid of that background. It makes it easier to see the color contrast with the car.
Ooh. Now, for my 15 grand here, this is getting me not just the color, but it's getting a bunch of, we just saw all the various, leather here and leather on the steering wheel column and leather on the top of the doors.
Right.
Somebody was thinking, this is it, bros. This is.
Yeah, it started, the exclusive manufactured leather package started with the Turbo S. It kind of brought it over just to the Touring.
What's have you guys seen Cognac in person?
Oh yeah.
What has, I mean, is this like
it's rich.
We have it here actually.
Because the beige, the Mojave beige is like old man mode, that's no good.
Yeah, I mean, beige is nice. Beige would be okay with that car, but
I can't do it.
To put beige in a GT3 would be kind of tough.
Hold on, let me stop sharing my screen here. I want to get a close up on that. Oh,
back it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a honey almost.
Crap! I'm supposed to be keeping the price down on this thing, and I'm gonna, shoot. You only like
it's very luxurious. I mean, it would be one of those things where people would open the door and then they would go, "Oh wow!" I mean,
yeah. All right.
You hear GT3, you think black interior all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because those are the standard colors.
Yeah. This is good. That's good. Okay. So, shoot, but then I have to do 18 ways. Yeah, I think I can stomach it.
What you said,
That's so good right there. Okay, well, we just changed something here today. All right, let's keep working our way down there. So now, the one thing that's not so clear that maybe you can clarify, you also have this deviated centers and stitching option. Let's see if it even lets you do that. Okay, so it does. And so then it gives you what it would deviate stitch or what the stitching would be.
Correct.
And then, so I could take my Cognac and I could add some crazy different color.
Well, let's see. Hit accept changes. Let's see what colors it's going to give us there. Yeah. Does it have a Cognac?
Truffle brown would be.
So I would think deviate. Let's see what our Cognac has. So Cognac already has Cognac stitching, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. It would change that stitching.
So what would look really cool is if this was black stitched, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see if it'll adjust that for us. Truffle brown will be our closest to black.
Truffle brown would be the closest thing.
Let's see if it changes it for us. That may not be loaded in the software.
Yeah, it's been a struggle.
Yeah. I'll have to think about that. God dang it.
Truffle brown's like super. I have a sample of that too.
But now we're into the territory where I don't have to do CXX and I'm getting the car that I want. This is great. I'm telling you, this wasn't here before. This color wasn't an option. So let's go back to taking that off. Let me just go look at it.
And I don't know if any of those stitching would look right against the black and the Cognac. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that would be the trick with this.
Yeah, if it was black, it'd be awesome. It would be perfect. But then I think it would change the black. It would change the Cognac stitching on the dash to black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good call. Yeah.
But I don't know if that.
Yeah, you might want to.
And then if you did the truffle stitching, then I think you'd have black dash with truffle stitching in the dash, which might be a little
weird.
It's a little confusing. Yeah,
it's a little too dark.
It would look great here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll skip the stitching. I'll save the $3,600. All right, so let's look at package. And so this was another question, something I was back and forth on. So if I'm doing the gentleman's spec, now my entire life has been eliminate chrome, eliminate shine. Right? Only have shiny paint. And yet I'm thinking about in this particular car, about leaving the trim and doing the, the platinum satin wheels and doing the gentleman spec versus blacking it out like so. I'm just so worried that I'm going to be disappointed, or I'm going to be wishing that I didn't get rid of the silver.
Oh, yeah, that's another tough judgment call.
Such a simple, trivial thing, but
it's such a throwback to go with the silver window trim.
Right.
And I think
so it does the side window trims, tinted lower front light units, tailpipes in black, and the Porsche logo in satin black.
I think the more classy look is to keep the silver stuff, but the black would not be a bad option. There's no good answer on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I probably will take the safe path, because I think this also has something to do with the headlights as well. If I remember correctly.
The lower part of it, yeah.
So you're not able to choose the black headlights unless you choose the Touring package in black, if I remember correctly. We'll get
that probably makes sense, yeah.
So then, my normal spec, absolutely, I would check carbon roof, but I think I'm going to skip it on this one. I'm doing paint to sample. Yeah. I want to get my maximum money out of my paint to sample is what I'm thinking,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And so I'm thinking skip the carbon roof. Now there is a 30% weight reduction, but we're talking probably 2 pounds, right?
If that, yeah. It's a steel roof anyways. It's not that.
If you were doing black wheels, then yeah, definitely the roof.
Right. And so I'm gonna skip. Oops, I'm gonna skip that. This. What have you guys seen? I mean, are people selecting this option now? How is Porsche doing with this? Do we know?
We did one. It seemed to be okay. Like I went to a training class one time, and the topic came up around the lunch table, and a couple of the guys were like, "It was terrible as far as quality," but.
And we've got a couple of cars that we've bought from Porsche, so ex demo cars, things like that. Pretty much all their ex demo cars have it. It's if you are looking to have it done prior to getting the car, absolutely, for customers out there who don't want to go through the process of trying to find somebody local or somebody that they trust and getting all that stuff done. It's lined up right. It's in the right place, but it's not.
It's not state of the art, Expel, whatever, ultimate,
correct.
Done. But and so it's not for me. I'm gonna have like one of the best in the world, come and do my car. But I was just wondering if it was something that some people may do.
And for somebody who wants to put it in the price of the vehicle and finance it out that way, it makes all sense in the world.
Mm-hmm. So then exterior mirror, lower trim. So that's this little piece here. Again, I want my maximum paint to sample. So I think I'm going with that. I normally don't choose these options, but I think I'm choosing that.
Hot button options right there.
Yeah.
I'm not selecting puddle light projectors.
You don't want the ground to say Porsche?
I do not. So now the motor stripe. This is the exterior decal, right? So I'm clearly not going to do that. I'm not going to do it in red. I'm not going to do it in silver. So this is what we're talking about here, is doing that.
Yeah.
It's cool, but just not my style. I like, especially on this, gentleman's car, I'm going to do it really clean. I'm not going to do the Porsche logo. You can get a Porsche logo on the side, which it's really great that they have this now.
Right.
This wasn't always a thing
before it gets here.
Right. Yeah, that's beautiful. So it, or you can choose the full set, where you can get, some nifty things where they put on the car. Again, not my style, but it's great that they have it. I'll check the fancy plastic. I wish they made this out of aluminum, but this is the fancy, I don't show a picture of it. Rather than just a black, it has the Porsche cap over top of your gas cap.
I'm selling that piece a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Porsche world, $160 is a drop in the bucket, right?
Yeah.
And then you do have the option. So I would do this. I'm sure you guys would probably agree. We'd do this if we did the roof.
Correct.
Right. And so I'm going to skip that. And so I'm going to leave the painted mirrors on the side. Again, it's hard for me to give up, not do these things, but this is a gentleman spec. And then performance. So I'm doing a 6-speed manual, not the PDK. So the philosophy here is that I would have I have the PDKS in my 991.2 GT3 RS, and then my 992 GT3 Touring would be my gentleman's 6-speed cruising car. So we're doing softer seats, but more engagement. That's the idea here. And then chrono package. So chrono package here includes the the clock. So without chrono package, there's no clock. And I think to do the exclusive interior, you have to do the chrono package. It already
yeah, because I think it's a forced option.
Yep, it pre-selected that for us, and so we will do the chrono package. Absolutely, do the gas, the extra tank. If you're worried about lightness, just put less gas in it.
Right, exactly.
But if you're ever driving with a group of people and you have the baby gas tank, then you're the idiot who has to stop all the time, and everybody else gets to keep going. So now here's another gentleman spec that I've loved that this is an option. I'm going to do the calipers in black.
Yep.
I love yellow calipers. I think it's fantastic. But on this car, black.
It doesn't go with green.
Yeah, agreed. Look at that. Whew, that's pretty clean right there. And carbon ceramics, of course. If once you go there, you can never go back. I might as well swing the lightweight battery in there just because I can. Now here's a resale value thing. I don't want the axle lift. I've never even come close to hitting the front of my car. I don't give a crap about what anybody else thinks about resale value. And I know it's going to deter some people, but I think I'm going to not select it. You guys are going to talk me out of that.
No, I'm not going to on your side. I'm not going to talk. And for one specific reason, you said something. If people are going to turn their eye at that car. Nobody's going to turn their eye at that car. Doesn't matter what you put on it. You got plenty of people who are going to want to buy that car at the end.
Yeah, I'm on your side. Save the 3600.
Yeah,
if you don't need it, don't get it.
Right. And so like the GT4 doesn't have it. I'm fine. I never use the darn thing on my, other than maybe if I'm putting a car in a trailer. And even then I don't even need to do it. So I'm going to skip it. You skip the weight, skip the function, skip the complexity of it.
Hold on a second. That brings up a good point. What about your trailer, like your ramps and
we've got, the trailer's set up to accept my M3, which doesn't have an axle lift. It's set up to accept my GT4 that doesn't have an axle lift. And so I've got ramps, and we actually lift the front of the trailer up so that the pitch is easier to get the car on. And so this car probably won't get trailered other than from you guys to me. But I'm going to skip it. And I never freaking use the thing. And it's $3,600. And I'll teach people, anybody who if I ever sold this car, which is hopefully unlikely, then I would, and just teach them, look, let me show you how to drive this thing. You don't need it. So then lights, and this is where, so help me out here. LED matrix. This is an option, but wasn't there something with the LED matrix that like we couldn't have in the US for a little while and now it's approved? Am I making that up? Did I read that wrong somewhere?
I don't think it's fully functional yet.
Yeah, no, I think
it's not backwards compatible. If they do make it functional, it's not a software. They tell us that you won't be able to take it to the dealer and get it turned on.
Got it.
So they just look better.
Yeah. Got it.
And they are brighter if you drive a car with LED matrix versus standard ones.
So this was what I was talking about, is I really would want black headlights, but you have to choose the black touring package. So we can do LED matrix in regular. So we can still do that, which has a silver housing. But if I wanted to,
does it make you do it on the other one?
I'm sure it does.
The PDLS with black.
Let's see here. So let's deselect. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you choose black, we've got to go black. And this is what had me, losing sleep at night.
Well, it's not like these headlights, the LED matrix without being black is not like 991.1 GT3s where, half the guys didn't order the black headlights and wish they did and tried to buy them all over Renlist and stuff like that.
I was one of them.
What's that?
I was one of them. I bought a $6,000 set of headlights. Yep. Yep.
Right, and it's not that drastic when you do the LED matrix and these. It's still a pretty dark. It's still a pretty dark housing. It almost, to me, it would be like the black headlights back in 991.1 and 0.2 cars.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that silver ring was just too light.
Yeah.
This gentleman spec, I mean, I think that's the way to go. Exclusive design taillights. I like this a lot. Can I choose that?
Very cool looking.
I think I can. Yeah, I can choose that. That's clean right there.
It's just clean. Yeah.
Yep. Versus the red stripe. And then what's your take on, I don't even know how this darn works, because I know that the auto dimming mirrors and integrated rain sensor.
You're never going to drive in the rain. I mean,
yeah, I've never chosen this option. My first GT3 had this, and it doesn't do anything.
Well, if you're driving the car at night and you're going to drive it in inclement weather, then sure. But other than that.
Yeah. So we'll skip over that. So that takes care of our lights and vision. So you have PDLS, then black PDLS, then PDLS plus, which is your, LED matrix, and then black. So that's what these 4 options are. So you choose one of them, or none of them if you want to just the base, by xenon headlights, which are still great. Comfort assist systems. Did these add little warts in the
rear, just for the rear?
Okay.
It does add them in the bumper,
but it does have a backup camera. So
already, so
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd skip this stuff then.
Yeah.
Right. These are probably more heavily European used options, I would think. Interior. Okay. So we have ambient lighting, which I think is cool.
Yep.
It's a nice, at first I thought that was kind of dumb, but I think this is the way to go. You can have a form done of your body. Is that what this is now?
For the track guys out there.
Got it. Okay. So if I was doing the bucket seats, I could do that, which we're not going to do. So we'll skip over that. Storage package is the little thing on the side. You might as well choose that, right?
It's free.
Yeah. Then I'm not a vehicle key, painted key kind of guy, so I skip that. I'm not going to do fire extinguisher. This is the gentleman spec, right?
Oh, come on. Fire extinguisher?
We're going to leave. Let's see. What do the seatbelts look like here? Are they still black?
Black.
Yeah. So we'll leave those alone. I don't think we want to mess with that. Let's look at the gauges here. I'm going to leave the gauges alone as well. I like the gauges. It's funny they charge for this now. Now, isn't it just a digital swap? Or is it an actual insert like the old ones?
No, it's just a small ring this time. So it's still an analog tack in the middle there, but it's just a very small line that gets colored. Got it. Let's see if and they still charge the same as they used to for the full gauges.
Yeah, so that's just a ring.
Yeah, I didn't see it changing it.
You're doing the sport chrono clock.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I'm inclined to leave those alone. I like the colors there. You have central tack and white.
Yeah, see, it just gives that ring.
It's
not the full gauge. It looks good.
Yeah, that appeals to me more than the traditional big red gauges all over the place. That's interesting.
Yeah, there you go.
I think I'd leave it alone. Gentleman's spec. With
the cognac, yes. Yeah.
Don't give in. This I think is important. I guess it's not as big a deal anymore.
It's just a removable ashtray.
Got it.
Yeah, you could use it for change in the house or something like that. It's free.
Not like it used to be.
We put it in a lot of cars just for that reason.
In the old days, you had to do it because it would create a cover here for that.
Right.
And otherwise, you had just kind of the weird little out of place tray. It looked like it was unfinished. Interior trim, inlays, and exterior color, which I wouldn't want to do. I like the interior is the interior and the exterior is the exterior. This is my choice. Interior leather. We shouldn't have to really select any of this stuff because we did that in our fancy full leather thing, most of it. And I'm not one to load this up, but this is how you get your car to like 300. Just check all these boxes. So I'm going to skip over like air, slats and all that stuff. Even though this is a gentleman's spec, I'm going to stay under control and skip over the leather. The owner's manual usually comes out of the car anyway. I don't leave it in there for the weight. And vehicle keys, leather pouch. That's not my style. So I'm going to skip over that. Sport seat plus, you could do the backrest, the back in leather, but I kind of like the way it looks with the contrast of the black and the cognac. I think I like that look. Just leave it alone. So I'm not going to mess with any of that stuff. Same thing with race techs.
Gentleman car. Yeah.
Yep. So this was automatically selected, likely from our interior package. So it does have race tech on top. You could do sun visors and things like that, but we'll skip over that. Carbon fiber interior. Let's see what that looks like. I think I had selected that in my initial build, but now that it's the cognac setup, I'm just really loving how this looks without messing with it. I'm not an illuminated door sill kind of guy. Carbon fiber floor mats, I'm not really into that either.
Base trim is carbon fiber in that car.
Yeah, so you could do extended. I wonder if it'll let you do that. Let's see. So I guess, you could.
And I think that gets you the steering wheel portion of it.
Yeah, dashboard, steering wheel, door sills, and your seat backs. Oh, shoot. That's pretty cool. I don't know. That might be something. The contrast isn't great but you can see what it's doing here
unfortunately it never, but you can see it does that trim, that flat lay trim piece underneath the nav screen. It does that part down there by the cup holder, the steering wheel trim. I wish we could see the back of those seats a little better.
So they have matte carbon fiber, and then they also have a high gloss carbon fiber. So if I were going to choose it, I would choose the one that costs 5 times as much.
It's going to be just like Grant's car, the Turbo S. So you got a Turbo S coming in with the carbon fiber backrest shells.
This part would be way cool. I think that might be what does
That's
it.
what it is.
So it does this little piece here as well.
All that trim on the dash.
The
backrest shells.
Yeah.
Does it do the whole backrest or does it do just the center part of it?
Click on that eye again if you don't mind.
So it says dashboard.
Backrest shell. It's just the inlay of the back of that seat. So it's not the whole back of the seat. It's the
same thing as for us.
Yeah, it's a smaller piece, but it's
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
Sport Seat Plus is 18-way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they'll show us here. No. I like the contrast of that. Oops. On the right here.
And that matte carbon fiber it is a very good looking trim.
Yeah. And then here.
I didn't know how I was going to like the matte finish of it because I've always been a high gloss carbon fiber fan. It's really,
So I always choose this. I love these pedals. Some people don't like them, but I think this is a must.
I love those.
Yeah.
I think they're absolutely fantastic. People complain when they're slippery. They're not slippery at all. I've never once thought my foot was going to slip off of them. Like even Chris Harris's last long-term video of his touring, they have 50,000 miles on. That was one complaint is he did the aluminum pedals and he felt like they were too slippery. I'm like, I don't feel that at all. So I love that. That's one of my favorite features. I just love those pedals. I've done it in every Porsche that I had the option to do it in. And then audio, gosh, can we please get Burmester? Please. It would make this absolute perfection. If we just had a Don Burmester option, it would be.
It's all weight.
Yeah.
I know. But maybe my friend, Mr. Bob Linton, who is, close personal friends with Andres Preuninger, convinced them to put a factory installed high-end stereo in his GT2 that, he has some video on his Instagram profile of, if you guys aren't following, you need to follow, I'll send you the link to Bob, but he has, long time close personal friends with the GT Porsche division. And so he convinces them to do some really elaborate, really crazy stuff.
Yeah,
And so
That's very cool.
So they did something like several $100,000 stereo install, and I don't know if it was a lot of money he didn't tell me how much it was, but a significant stereo, and pointing is in there bobbing his head while listening. But we got to choose Bose, and that's what we got to do. So we're at 218. All of this stuff here. So delivery experience. My experience is coming to see you guys. So I'm not doing that. That would be if you wanted to choose to take delivery in Atlanta or LA or something like that. I'm choosing to take it at the dealership so we can have fun.
And I'm not sure that the guys there at PEC would be real thrilled about you telling them don't touch my car.
Right.
Now,
Exactly.
well, they don't give you that option.
Wait till I get there to do the PDI.
Right.
So we do have some extended individualization here, which I think we kind of already selected, right? And so that's something we selected with our Cognac. I'm really excited about this now. This is great. This is good. I think I'm going to keep the carbon, and I think I'm going to keep the exterior looking like this. I think the last thing, so then these are all just, normal accessory things that you would,
Right.
a bunch of, like they have different, I guess you can get a separate set of wheels, and you can do all kinds of snow chains and stuff like that. So there's nothing in here. I don't think I need detailing supplies from Porsche, so we should be good there.
Snow chains would be pretty cool though,
Yeah, right.
Sure,
My kids are grown up, so I don't need that. And yeah, I think I can skip over the microfiber cleaning cloths and stuff like that. So I think the determinations that I'm going to have to decide. Let's look at the overview here. And so for those of you who've never done a Porsche, what I do is then I generate a code and I send that to Tom, and he then uses that to place the order. So this will generate a unique code that then they can punch in, and it pulls up this from wherever. And so I'll just do a little screen capture just so that I have this. And I'll come back to it because we did make some changes by doing the Cognac interior, but I think that the things that I have to make a decision on, and I've got a few days to do that till February before this locks. I'm excited. We don't have to approach the CXX option, and we don't have to go down that route. But so we have our paint to sample color, which I'm solid on Brewster green. We're doing the two-tone with Cognac. That's this here. The mirrors, I think that makes sense. 6-speed. Chrono package comes with the fancy two-tone leather package. You got to do that. Extended fuel range, 100% on black, high gloss black calipers. Track battery doesn't really matter one way or the other, but $190 for a lighter weight battery. I think I'm pretty settled on the silver wheels. I think we're going silver. We're going to stay there. And then the question would be the black, doing the black package. I think that would be the one thing. So do I do the black package, which would then make me do the black LED matrix headlights, or would I do just stay with the way we have it? I'm leaning towards staying the way we have it, and leaving it gentleman spec. I just think that looks so good. And I think it'll actually be a little bit more unique because I think most people will select the black package. Yeah. And then this $5,300 option, we'll just finance it, I guess. Spread it out over 72 months worth of payments or something like that. So we're at 218,930 for.
I think we are missing one out. I think you're missing the fuel cap.
Oh yeah. Is that on here? Did I not check it? So let's go back to options here.
So it doesn't take it.
It's all the way at the bottom of exterior.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Oh, got it. Good catch. So we'll have to generate it. Anytime you do make a change, you got to generate a new code.
Well, we've got the code. We can just add it.
I'll add it. I'll fix it.
Got it. Okay. So we can save it. Well, I'm going to save it for myself so I can go back and re-look at my masterpiece here. I think we leave it. I think that's it.
And then what'll happen is we get to the 13th and then you don't make any, this day you don't make any changes at all. And then they'll submit to Germany and then it'll stay in that one status and then it'll go into the block status. And once it's in the block status, then you know they've accepted it as far as the color and all options.
Yeah, this is going to be insane. And this car's probably worth $100,000 more than I paid for it pretty quickly. Hopefully,
Yeah.
And then if I, keep it 10, 15, 20 forever, who knows? But I intend to, the intent of this car for me, and this is part of our relationship, is I've agreed that I'm not hawking this thing. I'm not doing this to, it's such a privilege for me. I feel privileged to be able to buy this car, which is crazy. I feel privileged to spend $220,000. But it's something that I don't take lightly, in that I'm not buying this to flip it. Now, we also have a gentleman's agreement. If I ever get in financial trouble or had an issue, I would approach them first. And so I'm not legally beholden to keep this car, but I'm not getting another car if I flip it, and that is not I have no intention of doing that. That's not what I'm doing. I'll flip my other cars. This is going to be the car. Like, this is the one.
This is the one to keep. And especially that build is going to be,
Super cool.
But you never know if there will be another one out there, but there probably won't.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some Brewsters in overseas. I've seen some oak green metallics that have started to show up, and but I haven't seen them with Cognac. That really, I didn't even know that. I swear on this call, I didn't know that, because I think
you're right, because I looked at it the other day. I didn't see that.
Yeah. So shoot, if we can lock in Cognac, that is awesome. It's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And saddle brown would have been probably a little bit better, but I think the Cognac color is going to be absolutely.
And it probably could have been saddle brown, but you probably would have been another $20,000.
Yeah. So I think. I think, and this is part of the progression for me, right? I'm always talking about car guy progression. And so I think that the next progression someday, maybe we will head down the CXX path, maybe that would be the next progressive step. And that, you guys got me my first GT car that I was able to order. Prior to that, I'd bought some either used or just off the showroom type cars. And then I got to build the GT4. That was the next progression. This progression is my first paint to sample car. You got to have room to grow in life.
Right.
If you get it all when you're 22, there goes all the spice,
Right.
So the next step for me is I've given you guys a deposit, and then I don't really have to do anything other than you'll call me the day of lock and say, hey, are we good? We'll lock the car in. And then we'll, when the car comes, then I come and pay for it. We do all the finance paperwork beforehand, and all that stuff is, traditionally how we do it, right? Anything change there? So, and then I'm going to go up there, and what they'll do is they won't leave the wrapper on it, and I'll come and they'll have it sitting there, and I'll come and darn near cry and, that kind of thing. And then we'll unwrap it and we'll take it in the back and wash it, and we'll come up with something cool to make some videos to share what it's like to take delivery of now a very special, very hard to get, GT3 Touring and darn near perfect spec, if not perfect.
Yeah. I'm excited for that Cognac. I'm very, that seems to be perfect.
Cool. And so, you guys, how do they get in touch with you if they want to buy a Porsche? Obviously, you can't just call up and order a Touring, but to start to develop a relationship with the guys, they're running a sort of you guys would call yourself sort of like a mid-sized Porsche dealership.
We're growing. I would say we're still. I wouldn't quite put us in the mid-sized category. We've since we've been at this location, we've been in our building, which you got to see pretty much the first year that it was here. We've doubled in size, and we're still trending towards probably gaining another 25 to 40% the following year. Our economy here is just really taken off.
So if you're looking for a GT car, give the guys a call and at least have a conversation, with them, and see where where they're at with allocations. And they'll be one thing that's great about these guys is they'll be honest with you. They're not going to BS you. They're not going to tell you something that isn't true. And you can, the reason why I'm working with them is largely because of that. And then, also, them giving me access to come in and give free reign of the dealership. Yeah. The service guys are like, what the heck is going on here? What did Tom get us into?
It's one day out of the year. And
yeah, we made them look good. They look good. So we'll do the same thing again, but maybe we'll put some sort of unique spin on it. But I certainly appreciate you guys. I'm excited for this, and I'll keep everybody updated as the car gets into build status. Now another change is you can actually see a picture of your car on the assembly line now. So. Is there an app, or is that something you send? How do people get that information? I've seen my buddies with their lizard green GT3s sharing those pictures. Where does that come from?
They'll email you a link. It's called Porsche Track Your Dream.
Okay.
We just need to make sure in the Porsche system your email isn't never opted out of emails.
Got it. Okay.
So if you did, I can opt you back in, and you'll get that. There'll be a link you'll get at some point.
I don't know. Probably
you won't see the picture until after the car is shipped.
Got it. But then you can follow along where it's at, roughly, what vessel it's on, that kind of thing, or where its status is. That's cool. That was always a BMW always had the best tracking system, and now I think Porsche's up their game as well on that.
Right. And you'll have almost as updated information as what we have. We can still see a little bit more, but not much more than the customer-facing tool right now.
Cool, awesome. Well, I appreciate it, everybody. Like I said, reach out to Tom and the dealership at Porsche Wilmington in North Carolina, and this spec is good. I feel even better than when I started this. I was excited to have this call, and now I feel even better that I can have the exact spec with that cognac interior. That's going to be sweet. Thanks everybody for watching. As always, stay tuned for more crazy. Life just keeps getting crazier. Can you imagine a kid from the trailer park buying a freaking $220,000 paint to sample Brewster green GT3 Touring? It's crazy. That's not lost on me. So I hope people get that. We'll see you on the next video. Appreciate the guys from Porsche Wilmington time, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thanks, Matt.